بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا وأنت تجعل الحزن والصعب إذا ما شئت سهلا اللهم آمين. We are indeed in the end of the month of Rajab. This is from Al-Ashhur al-Hurum. And Al-Ashhur al-Hurum are 4 months as Allah described in the Quran. Among them, Shahr Rajab, that comes before Sha'ban, and the month of Sha'ban, the month that comes before Ramadan. That means we are in the process of getting ourselves ready for the month of Ramadan. May Allah Azza wa Jal help us to get the barakah of Rajab, because it's from Al-Ashhur al-Hurum, and help us to reach Sha'ban and be able to witness Ramadan. فَإِنَّهُ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ. Indeed, one needs to be ready. Big events need preparations. Whatever event you're planning for, whether it is an exam, whether it is a sport or recreational activity, you prepare in advance. And here comes the mu'min, the believer, the one who's aiming to gain the maghfirah, rahmah, and salvation from the hellfire. Those who are, striving and wanted to gain Laylatul Qadr should be preparing and getting themselves ready in advance throughout the month of Rajab, Sha'ban, before the month of Ramadan. And normally the Muslim Ummah would commemorate by the end of Rajab the event of Al-Isra and Mi'raj. Now, I'm not going to get into the controversy of whether it took place at the 27th or did not take place at that time. But what we need to focus on is the essence of this non-questionable event that took place in the life of the Prophet ﷺ, because that's an event documented in the Quran as well as in the seerah of the Prophet ﷺ. And an event like this is major event that the Ummah needs to benefit from its details. We know that the Prophet ﷺ at the early stages of the da'wah was faced with a lot of aggression, a lot of rejection, and he was hurt emotionally, physically, and he had to go outside Mecca to get some support and help. And he left from Mecca to Al-Ta'if and was even faced with more rejection, with brutal treatment, to the point that they allowed the children to run after him and stone him until he was bleeding. And in that moment, when he was leaving from Al-Ta'if, feeling heartbroken, sat in the garden, as it is reported to us, and made his beautiful soft dua in which he supplicated to Allah, uploading his pain. Ya Rabb al-Mustada'afin, Anta Rabbi, ila man takiluni. Oh Ya Allah, you are the Lord of those who are mustada'afin, weak, helpless, powerless on the earth. Ila man takiluni, Ya Allah, to whom do you leave me? Ila ba'idin yatajahhamani am ila qaribin mallaktahu amri. Are you leaving me to someone who's remote, showing aggression to me, or to someone who's close to me, referring to the people of Mecca who have hurted him a lot? And throughout the dua, he indicated, إِن لَمْ يَكُنْ بِكَ عَلَيَّ غَضَبٌ فَلَا أُبَالِي. Ya Rabbi, if you're not angry with me, I am okay, per se, to be facing this aggression, to be facing these challenges, as I know that these are challenges meant to be for those who are on the right path. وَلَكِنَّ عَافِيَتَكَ وَرَحْمَتَكَ لِيَ أَوْسَعَ. But Ya Rabbi, your afiyah, your rahmah, your mercy is more beneficial for me, to teach us that, yes, indeed, through difficult times, we need to go back to Allah. We need to show our submission to Him, to surrender and show our weakness and demonstrate our slavery to the mighty, the powerful, the creator, the sustainer of this universe. And as a result of this soft dua coming from the heart, loaded with pain, the mountain of the angel of the mountains along with Jibreel came down to him and said, Ya Rasulullah, we're at your command. If you want, we can take these the biggest two mountains around Mecca and place them on the top of those people. And then with his rahmah, he said, but I would rather that Allah Azza wa Jal will take out of their descendants someone who will be giving support to the deen of Allah Azza wa Jal. And then after that, we know the details of how the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam went in that journey from Al-Masjid al-Haram to Al-Masjid al-Aqsa. And this is documented to us in Surah Al-Isra. Subhana alladhi asra bi'abdihi laylan min al-Masjid al-Harami ila al-Masjid al-Aqsa alladhi barakna hawlahu linuriyahu min ayatina. And then after that, when he went in that journey, going to Al-Masjid al-Aqsa, he prayed 2 rak'ah there, and behind him were all the prophets of Allah Azza wa Jal, as an indication from Allah to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that if the people of the earth, the people of Quraysh, the people of Al-Ta'if do not realize your state as a prophet of Allah, here comes the prophet of Allah who came from before you to pray behind you and give the submission to your leadership as the seal of all the prophets of Allah Azza wa Jal, and endorsing your ummah as the last ummah will be taking care of the da'wah to the deen of Allah Azza wa Jal. Kuntum khayra ummatin ukhrijat lin-nas. With that, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, after that, was taken from Baytul Maqdis, from the rock near to Al-Masjid al-Aqsa, ascended to the skies in riding Al-Buraq, which is a creation of Allah Azza wa Jal. The description of it doesn't concern us. But when Al-Buraq was introduced to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Al-Buraq rejected, because it is a creation of Allah Azza wa Jal that is only to be given to those who are prophets, to those who are honorable. And then Jibreel alayhi salam reprimanded Al-Buraq and said to him, how are you rejecting Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, the most honorable of all the creations of Allah? And the narrations report back to us that Al-Buraq felt ashamed and he sweated too much, showing submission to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. From there, he ascended to different skies, meeting the prophets of Allah Azza wa Jal at each sky, each one of them showing excitement and addressing the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam with the proper way of addressing the seal of all the prophets of Allah, and being excited that they're meeting with him. Again, another sign to indicate that if the people of the earth are not honoring you, Prophet of Allah Azza wa Jal, the people of the sky, including the malaika, whom when Jibreel will be knocking at the doors of every sky, will be asked, who's with you? And when he responds back that it is Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, the malaika, out of their excitement, will be saying, was he sent out? And he will be indicating as yes, and the malaika will be welcoming the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam to the skies. These all incidents of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam being honored in this journey on the earth, and being honored to the journey of the sky, and meeting all the prophets, and the excitement of the malaika, all the creations that he was interacting with, gives an indication that indeed the believer in this life is a stranger, that indeed the believer in this life will be faced with challenges and difficulties, as it is the case right now on those who have stood in defending Al-Masjid al-Aqsa in the land that Allah Azza wa Jalla have blessed the surrounding of it. As we're seeing and we're watching in the news and hearing the continuous aggression that takes place to the people who have the Prophet ﷺ said about them, لا تزال طائفة من أمتي على الحق ظاهرين لعدوهم قاهرين. There will be still a group of my ummah على الحق ظاهرين. They're riding on the haqq. لعدوهم قاهرين, annoying to their enemies. And when the Prophet ﷺ was asked where are they, he indicated they are in Al-Bayt al-Maqdis and the surroundings of Al-Bayt al-Maqdis. Look at right now, when I was watching the news a day or two ago and seeing the people of Gaza who are living in simple tents, and with the harsh weather environment in the winter, a winter storm came by to blow these simple tents away, along with the clothing, simple clothing that these people had. And when you see the children crying and expressing their frustration on the silence of the Muslim Ummah and the whole population of the earth in general, while they're seeing them going through this, one of the children was saying, the rain gets inside these simple tents and drops on our head to make it wet, wetting our clothing, wetting our simple mattresses, wetting our comforts, and we are shivering as a result throughout the night and unable to get sleep. This is happening. Well, the whole world is watching and knowing exactly what is happening. To these people we say what the Prophet ﷺ said, Allahumma in lam yakun bika alayna ghadabun fala nubari. We remind them about what the Prophet ﷺ throughout his trip, when he was ascending, when he smelled a beautiful smell and inquired from Jibreel, where is this beautiful smell coming from? And he was informed that this is coming from the grave of Mashita ibnat Fir'aun, the one who used to take care of the daughter of Fir'aun, when she demonstrated her faith in Allah Azza wa Jal, rejecting believing in Fir'aun. Fir'aun la'natullahi alayhi deliberately tortured her and tortured her own children by throwing each one of them in front of her own eyes into a boiling oil. The same as we're seeing nowadays happening to the children and to the people of Gaza, seeing the mothers witnessing the bombing and the burning of their innocent children, and the bombs that are thrown in this small geographical area are so massive and so disgusting that it's been experimented on civilians who have no power and no means to defend themselves. We say to them, may Allah Azza wa Jal accept your shuhada as shuhada, and may Allah Azza wa Jal make you honored like the Mashita of the daughter of Fir'aun, and may Allah Azza wa Jal the Mighty bring this ummah once again to its conscience to be able to defend itself and protect its integrity and protect the integrity of the shrines of Islam. And may Allah Azza wa Jal the Mighty help us to be living a life of integrity and izzah and karama. فَإِنَّهُ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ. We will never give up despite of the bleakness, the darkness, and the challenges, because we firmly believe that challenges are meant to be so that the believer will be known to Allah Azza wa Jal. أحسب الناس يتركوا أن يقولوا آمنا وهم لا يفتنون ولقد فتنا الذين من قبلهم. May Allah Azza wa Jal give us the steadfastness and the strength and help us to be from those who are صادقون فإنه على كل شيء قدير. وجزاكم الله خيرا. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. جزاك الله خير.